Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Mind of a Minority. My name's Charles. Thank you for joining me. Today, we're going to talk about how a lie is being perpetrated amongst the black and brown community in order to activate people on behalf of rich political interests. Essentially, the truth of the matter is we do have a policing problem. I can admit that, right? But the lie is the extent of the problem. So what we're going to do today is we're going to throw that under the microscope and give you a real thorough understanding of exactly how this lie is being perpetrated. Now, before I hurt y'all's feelings, because I know that's the most important thing in the world right now, I just want to state categorically that this is a nationalized way of looking at the problem. Like I said, it does not drill down into hot spots. I'm sure that in certain urban areas, in certain cities and communities, the police brutality is a big deal. But as far as police killings go, you can't apply a minority of people in one area unilaterally across the entire nation. So how bad is the case of police killings? Well, according to National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund, there are over 800,000 law enforcement officers serving right now. Now, I know that that's from Law Enforcement Memorial. You may want to question that, but U.S. Department of Justice in 2016 said that there were likely around 1 million. We don't have to exactly be precise with those numbers because we just need a decent representation of the size. So we can take even a range. So now that we know that there's between 800,000 and 1 million cops, the next question is how many people as a whole are killed by the police? And I'm talking about all of the people killed by law enforcement officers. I'm not talking about just black, just unarmed, just white. How many people are killed regardless of nationality, sex, age, etc.? So let's take a look. According to The Atlantic, 2015 and 2016 reports 1,146 and 1,092 respectively. It goes on to talk about a study that I considered referencing a little bit later, that explains that 52% of those were white, 26% were black. So let's move on to the next source that I have for you. This is The Independent. It says that about 1,000 annually are killed by police officers. So we have our last source here is through Statista, and it basically shows that over the last 3 years, how many people have been killed by police, and it breaks down by nationality, black, white, etc. Now, what you can see is over these last 3 years, things are trending down. They're actually getting better for the people in the community. So why is a lie being perpetrated that makes it look like this problem is rampant and we're not working in a positive direction? Change is occurring. We cannot take every singular event and blow it up to be something that it's not. Now, the last thing that I want to cover real quick here is a University of Harvard study that was actually published in what's called the Public Health Review. And look, Harvard is like one of the premier universities for law in this country. I mean, even Barack Obama taught constitutional law at Harvard. This is not like, I'm going to PragerU or some university that people have some sort of contention with. These numbers, or this study is going to be well done. They're going to know what they're talking about. So basically what this study found was that back in the 1970s, black and brown people were victimized at dramatically higher rates than their counterparts. Nobody would argue with that. And based on the chart here, it shows that it's at a rate of almost 6 to 1 or 5 to 1, depending on how strict you make the variables. If that were today, you would see something kind of like this here. And I made this chart just to show you an equivalence from 1970 till now. you can see plainly that things have actually reversed and trended to where black people are killed less than white people. So why are they making this a problem? The truth of the matter is, as I said before, we are living in one of the best times of peace on the globe. And the problems that we do face are much, much more severe than the 220 folks who lost their life. You know, God rest their soul. I hope the families get justice. But we cannot sit here and pretend like out of that 220, a majority of them were not justified. I mean, we can't sit here and pretend like crime doesn't exist. That, you know, they're not coming up on calls where people have firearms or people have large amounts of money and guns that they want to protect and try to get away from the police. We can't act like they don't roll up on situations where one man has just killed another man and it's a standoff. I mean, we see stuff like that too. Now, I also would like to point out that we cannot continue with this idea that it's a prerequisite. The prerequisite for killing a black man is being a black man yourself. We have far bigger problems. Let me ask you a question. Why do we support the rich executives who are using the media, television, and music to teach our kids this is what it means to be black? This is how black people dress. This is how black people make music. This is how black communities interact with one another. We have to stop pretending that everything is all good with us if we could just somehow stop the racial profiling of police and racist white people who are out there for vigilante justice. Why do they only market and sell the glorification or normalization of criminality, aspiring to be a drug dealer, killing one another, popping Xan, sipping lean, sexual promiscuity, broken family structures? These are the people that y'all need to be getting at right now. Not these few police out of 800,000 to 1 million who kill 220 to 250 black people a year. And I get it. There was a section that said, you know, this amount it's unknown their ethnicity, but it wasn't large enough to say that it would even be 500 black people a year. And then how many of those are justified? We can't focus on that so much when we have thousands and thousands and thousands of people being killed by alcohol, cigarettes, gang violence, just drug overdoses. And we are taking money from rich executives to create the music, the media, the content that encourages our communities to engage in this type of behavior. So look, y'all, like I've done said enough. I think y'all got the point. I love all y'all. You are my people with this same oppressor. So how could I possibly hate any of you? You all live in the same world that I do. I wish you all the very best, and I'll see you soon.